Hey everybody, how you all doing? Welcome back to another edition of Action Sunday. It's Sunny Action Sunday, as you can probably tell. But anyway, today I want to talk about the movie Unstoppable. Yeah, believe it or not. So this movie I've had stuck in my queue for quite some time, and I never officially got a chance to see it. I really wanted to see it when it came out in theaters many moons ago, and I never got a chance to. But now, finally, after all this time, I finally decided to give this movie a watch. And of course, here's something interesting. This is not your typical action movie. This movie is more one of those disaster flicks, and yeah, movies like The Day After Tomorrow and Cloverfield. Well, if you kind of think Cloverfield, but you get my point. Deep Impact. There's a whole list, and of course, these disaster flicks have been around since I don't know, since maybe the '90s or maybe earlier. But yeah, each one of these has some kind of interesting like trope. But here, this is an interesting one. You got an unstoppable train, unmanned, malfunction, traveling at an undisclosed, let's see, probably at a high speed that's about to hit a populated Pennsylvania town. So that's the crux you got to get of the story. Makes this story interesting is that this story was based on some real life events and probably some real life people. But of course, I don't want to get into too much of the real details. But all you gotta know is that yes, this was almost a real life disaster that could have happened, and the fact that there's an everyday hero in all of us kind of proves everyone wrong that this could happen. That something like this could happen, then someone could step up and take care of this. So. But now for the rest of the movie. So let's talk about this. You got Denzel Washington playing this guy Frank, he's one of the most veteran railway workers. Then you got Chris Pine playing this guy Will. He's this young new railway worker, and somehow they're assigned to a one train. So essentially they become the unexpected heroes where they realize, okay, we can probably stop this unmanned train, and of course everyone, their mother is trying to figure out, okay, how can they stop this uncontrollable train? And it just goes to show, like man, everything in this movie just feels natural. It comes off like, oh my god, like every moment is like you're on edge, you're tense. And of course, believe it or not, coming from me, used to grow up being a train lover. I didn't realize that how much goes into operating this kind of system or how this works. And of course, now a lot of people these days use the trains, even though it's kind of like a dying thing. But that's not besides the point. But it's really interesting how they go through every step, blow by blow, of trying to avert this disaster, and how well inner workings of the whole system. And like these two guys, along with the spring cast, do a fine job bringing these characters. Some of them might have been based on real life people brought to life. I mean, between these two, but got Denzel and Chris Pine. You also got Rosario Dawson. You got Kevin Dunn. You got Kevin Corrigan. Yeah, like you got all that just adds into like how well done this could be. Yeah, if you're expecting more like explosions and gunfighting, no. But there are moments that feel like an action movie, like it's an actual thrill ride. Like some of the great cinematography, which I do praise. Like see some of the intense like wide shots and close ups blended in with the score and all that. Now, of course, there is some moments that really feel like an action movie where there's like train derailing, there's a train exploding. I don't want to give much away if no one's ever seen this quote unquote disaster flick, but it really works. And I'm noticing a trend between this movie and another movie that Denzel was in. I believe it's called Flight. Both of them revolve around certain disasters and certain things surrounding it. Denzel takes a role and just runs with it, and of course, no matter how blue collar it could be, like Denzel rings close to me. Like he's a phenomenal actor. Okay, and like he just shows like he can fit into anything perfectly, where it's good, bad, or something somewhere in between. And like Denzel does a phenomenal job. As for Pine, I'd say you could start to see that he's his stock is starting to grow, because I believe a year before this, Star Trek came out. Of course, the Abrams Star Trek, and of course, hey, he's Captain Kirk, so that's one way we're gonna remember him by. But yeah, like everything else about this movie is fun. There's some, like I said, there's some tense moments there. This feels like the edge of your seat thrill ride. But when it comes to action sequences, there's like I said, very minimal, but but like I said, so there's themes that you could totally see that they can probably be lifted. You can kind of see like be done on a grander scale if you wanted to just like get rid of like some of this other stuff and make like there's a bomb on a train or something like that. You could tell this. I feel like if you take this formula and run with it and maybe take a different direction, like that would involve on a train. Of course, another one would be Under Siege 2, but of course I reviewed that. And of course, you know my feelings about that. But I feel like this movie can go either way. Like you can look at it as like a disaster thrill ride, or if you just changed up some elements, it could be a good action movie. Good on paper. Now, if I had to pick a score, well, believe it or not, folks, of any disaster movie, and of course, disaster movies are not really my forte. Of course, everyone always says, "Oh, The Day After Tomorrow is the best one." Well, first off, I hate The Day After Tomorrow. Okay, I'm gonna admit that right now. But of course, now I'm comparing apples to oranges. Okay, but when it comes to Unstoppable, I'm gonna give this a fair score. I'm gonna give it maybe a 7 out of 10 for all the right reasons. And like no matter how you look at it, you could just look at it and just be like, okay, it's a fine like movie where it just shows like there's an everyday hero in all of us, and a hero can really emerge with the right elements and just persevere and like stop something as crazy as an unstoppable train or maybe a plane. But of course, that's maybe a review for another time. But you all get my point, okay? If you want to see this movie, give it a watch. If you've never seen it, it's a fine movie. It's not the best, all right? So that's it for today. Let me know what you think. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for some more awesome and exciting videos.